nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. I think there's something in the water. If you wanna take a sip, but be careful what you wish for. The faint of heart can't handle it. Everybody wants a piece of someone else's prize, but it ain't free, it don't come cheap. Only the strongest will survive. You ain't seen nobody like this.
Welcome to the Wrong Show's intro. What a boy, Harry.
You just noticed. We put it, like, literally all of us put it in the private chat. And you had no clue. It never registered for you.
I didn't see it. I was too busy. All right, hold on. Let's restart the show here.
No.
You gotta
edit this.
Let it ride. Let it ride. Broncos country. Let's ride.
I guess Thursday we're gonna have to play the Fancast one for the high school show.
No, just to balance it out.
Oh no,
that was the old one. That was our old intro.
Tough scene.
No, it's the Fancast one.
Tough scene.
I don't
Anyway,
even know if I have it.
Anyway,
It said USL and yeah.
Welcome to the San Antonio FC Fancast. I'm your host, Royce. Good Lord, what a mess. It is the off season for us as well.
Yeah, it won't let me flip it either.
It's almost preseason.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. I'm joined by intro master extraordinaire, Harry. Harry, how are you?
Doing well. I was trying to get the Moments by Raz tweet lined up, so that's why I wasn't really paying attention.
Sure.
That's what I was going to do for it here.
Good cover.
Yeah.
I screwed that up, so yay.
Yeah. Also joined by Jonathan Check. JC, how are you?
Doing all right. Trying not to give Harry too hard of a time, but he makes it so easy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm also joined by Rafa. Rafa, how are you?
Good. After a long day yesterday at covering the NAISD Girls College Showcase, so now flip the script, get ready to talk some SAFC.
Are you sure?
Sounds like a plan to me. And we're also
He's sure.
We're also joined by Matthew Gamez. Matthew, how are you?
Pretty good. Just chilling.
He's happy about Alex Grieve.
Another day.
Yeah, super happy, right? Super happy. Well, I mean,
hey, it was a boring weekend. I'm not gonna lie. There was nothing much going on besides the Texas game. I mean, yeah, nothing really going on here.
I mean, the Spurs played, the Stars played. Things have been going on.
When did the Spurs play?
Yeah, the Spurs were playing this weekend.
I mean,
they
not
got
this weekend.
canceled.
They got canceled.
Oh, that's right. That's right, man.
And you thought I was bad. Come on.
Shout out to LA and everybody out there.
Yeah, be safe.
Yeah, that's a tough scene, man. Our friends, I know Orange County's a little south of there, but I'm sure y'all have some friends up there, and it's tough. That's tough over there. But anyway, as a little transition, you mentioned Alex Grieve, so let's talk about San Antonio FC's new signings.
Well, hold on here. I want to do. We got to do something first.
All right, take it away.
It is a happy birthday to everybody's favorite number 9, Jake LaCava. San Antonio FC tweeted that late this evening. So happy birthday. So excited for another year with Jake here, a full season. Excited to see what he can do. And then we got to talk about the departure, which would be Puma, and say hello to Charly. Rafa, this was your baby. You want to talk about the change from Puma to Rafi? To Charlie, pardon me.
Maybe they should name one after me. So I kind of got the little spill right before the official announcement. So I had some talks with some people. I'm gonna say where, but they did mention that the representatives of Charly came to visit them, and they were going to go ahead and move forward and have a new provider. They weren't sure yet where they're going to announce it, but it looked like it was this week. And Charly is based out of, I think, Leon, Mexico. They do provide jerseys for a few Liga MX teams like Cholos, Atlas, Pachuca, Leon, just to name a few. Very unique jerseys. They'd also do the jerseys for the Liga MX All-Star team. And if you've seen the All-Star game for the MLS, you could say they're the provider for that. And then USL's become, I think Charly's also become the USL official provider. And then we got other teams, like I said, we had the Memphis was with them, San Diego. Now we Monterey Bay,
North Carolina announced it.
North Carolina, yeah, Tulsa, so Oakland. But it's a great brand. Like I said, they have very unique. Like I said, if you've seen some of the Liga MX jerseys, they have some very unique ones, very flashy. Someone mentioned they poor quality. No, they're actually good quality jerseys, and I'm excited. Like I said, it's something different. And like I said, I expect probably the rest of the USL teams probably going to hop on board and be associated with Charly.
So before we go any further, we got to go full screen on here. Let's do this one here. Rafa's best friend, Aguilar _210. Hello, everyone. Hello, Rafa. How did you enjoy 5-2? So let's just get this out of the way.
just get. We had to give him a trophy, but he tends to forget. There's 3 guys out with ACL injuries in the back, so no worries there. But once Alphonso Davies and Trent Alexander are signed, that's the last trophy you're gonna get. Plus, we're still in second place. They're in third place, so I'm not worried about it.
And Pete, Jolanda Dow, sup, fellas? Always glad to hear you guys and what you have to say. And then Evil Wooden Boy, I'm excited for some new team kits for that here. So thank you for that here. But yes, we purposely did not bring up because I was waiting for Aguilar 210 to pop up because him and Rafa always have a fun thing. So back to you, Royce, with Alex Grieve signed a 2-year, a multi-year contract. I guess I couldn't say 2 years because we don't know how many of the multi-years is ahead of the 2025 USL Championship season. The transaction, of course, pending league and federation approval. Grieve most recently joins from League of Ireland Premier League Bohemians, where he scored 2 goals in 15 matches after joining in July of 2024. Prior to that, he spent 2 seasons in the Scottish Premier with St. Mirren and on loan with Dundee, where he recorded 8 goals and 2 assists in 63 appearances. Here's where you'll kind of find this is what scouting director Marco Ferruzzi said. Alex is an aggressive technical forward with good hold-up and combination play. Is also fast on transitions and very good awareness in the final third. He's gained valuable playing experience in the Scottish Premier and with the New Zealand national team. And at 25 years old, he has his best football ahead. We are pleased to welcome Alex and look forward to having him in our squad and in front of our fan. And of course, he has 14 caps for New Zealand, most recently called up for the June 2024 OFC Nations Cup.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, right? There's a pretty infamous little miss, but who doesn't have an infamous miss? Throw the first stone if you don't have any bad misses like that. But we'll see. It's exciting. It really looks like Ferruzzi again is looking at the international market, right? He's looking at the European market, the Asian market, and the South American market. And he's really putting a wide swath to find a squad. We'll see if he can put together a better, more cohesive squad than last season. but the talent level was definitely there. It's just, the team coming together. We'll see. We'll see what Yamosa can do. But with Alex Grieve, I mean, in the Scottish Premiership, from what we heard, I believe he got relegated as well. And then he went to the Irish Football League. We'll see. All we can see are, some him on
The
tape
highlights,
a little bit.
the highlights on him
I didn't want to call them highlights for a reason.
leave a
but
lot to be desired.
but
Now,
we'll see.
I'm not a scout, but
Exactly. Yeah, we're just five. We're five idiots. So we'll see.
Well, Rafa's got a little bit of background on it, so I'll give. it
I
a credence
said
to
five.
Rafa.
I said five idiots. I said five idiots. I stand by it. I'm
You're
joking.
missing,
Go ahead.
When you
you're missing
average it
Robert.
out.
When you add a Robert.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I mean, he played college soccer. You coach college soccer.
So that's,
Whatever. We're 6 idiots. So whatever. Anyway, Rafa, you're the expert. Take it away, brother.
No, I know, just like I said, watching his videos, yeah. But also you got to look at it this way. This is a fresh start for him, so sometimes maybe a change of scenery could bring out, maybe the qualities that the scouts looked at him, that his potential. It's got to be a wait and see. Well, I think maybe this will motivate him because, his goal is probably to get back to playing in Europe. So I think if he does a good showing here, he's motivated, he works hard. And the one thing he does need to work, like I said, work on is basically his technical play. And I think that's needs. If he can fix that, sky's the limit with him. And I know videos sometimes don't lie, but like I said, I think that changes. I think coming here, it's probably going to help him out, and really no pressure on him here because he's not. He might not be a starter. But the thing is, he could be a key piece. Late in the game or something, or if we have an injury, like I said, like I said, he did play in Europe, so he does have some of that European competition. It might not have been the top leagues, but it's still, like I said, competition over there in Europe is pretty high. So, it's like I said, it's wait and see, but we'll see what he does coming up this coming season.
Jonathan, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I don't know if you had planned to do this, Harry, but I'm going to inject what SAFC, I guess I would say Scottish SAFC fan Mark Ellis had said, sort of in reply to when I quoted how Ferrucci
I was going to leave that for
described.
you,
When he described Grieve's play. So we read the quote from Ferrucci earlier. Ellis's response, and to give you guys some context, he is a Dundee United fan, so he saw Alex Grieve playing for sort of the main team he supports for 4 or 5 months in early 24, I believe it was, so about a year ago. And he says, quote, "I wouldn't say he was particularly technical and certainly wouldn't say he has much of a hold-up game. Very much a grafter and an annoyance to defenders, not a technician. Will press all day long and throw himself into things, has a little bit of pace, can also play wide. Would also say on the flip side, he's quite lightweight, not really somebody that carries the ball, too easily knocked off it when he does, and not a natural composed finisher, which can be a frustration when he genuinely does do a lot of good work until the final bit." And so just kind of, it's interesting because Harry, I know, was even more skeptical of Grieve once he heard that. It's not like he's saying this guy's terrible. It's just,
No, I know
it's
that.
a mixed bag. He doesn't exactly do maybe the things you would expect from sort of a center forward. He's maybe not the best at finishing off chances, but I think to kind of summarize that up, he does still do some valuable work, some work that I would say in recent years other players have done for SAFC without necessarily being a finisher, but they do some of that hard work, that dirty work, and it's important to the team. So if Grieve is able to come in and do some of that, maybe he gets the same recognition, the same plaudits, and who knows, maybe this change of environment will be good for him. He has actually been in the US before. He did go to college here, played in college soccer for a few years, so it's not like American culture is completely foreign to him, whereas when he was with Scottish teams, Irish teams, as far as I'm aware, that's basically the first time he had been over there, and he bounced between a few different teams. So maybe just never really got a chance to be settled. And if he's got a multi-year contract here, that's at least 2 years. So maybe if he just has the time to settle in a little more, or even it might even just be, as Rafa was saying, he needs some work on the technical side. Maybe part of why Ferrucci brought him in is maybe he's very confident that Carlos Llamosa can improve this guy's game. I mean, I know it's been almost a month now, but that is one thing I seem to recall from the press conference when Ferrucci and Llamosa talked when Llamosa was announced as the head coach, is they felt like they could maybe not even just bring in good players, but sometimes bring players in and improve them, obviously as people. You want to develop them personally, but also as players. So maybe it's someone that they think, yeah, you're not the finished product yet, you're not perfect, but we think we can fix you. Who knows? We could be completely wrong. He could get sold on in 6 months. But as some people say, you give him the benefit of the doubt until he proves you wrong. You give him an opportunity.
And before you hop in, Matt, Uwen Matsuda mentioned SPL is an extremely high level, and he also mentions the whole sign players with USL experience is overrated. This isn't the Premier League. Clubs should be creative with their signing process. I agree and disagree a little bit because and this is more just kind of a United States thing because of the travel, just the difference in the fields compared to over in Europe. I'm not sure about New Zealand or Australia, along those lines on how their fields are. But you play in some unique atmospheres, I guess you could say, for that here. But yeah, it's like, to me, it's I'm happy that SAFC is going outside of the cookie cutter box, because I think when we get to the next person after Matt, and if Royce has anything, I think that's why you do this here. And I will say for Grieve, let's not forget who the other Kiwi that SAFC used to have, and that was Elliot Collier for that here. So let's not forget that. I'm assuming that they may. Oh, this is me making an assumption that they may have had some conversations between the two. Just kind of saying, for Matt, what you're getting into. Matt, your thoughts on him, and please be nice.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna say, let's just see what happens. I know they're just videos at this point. There's people who found other videos of him, so I'm just gonna say, let's just see what happens first. Let the kid speak for himself. We can't say nothing from what his gameplay is, but hopefully it's as good as they say it is.
Where do you and to kind of circle back on what Jonathan said, as far as for me, the players that we're bringing in, to me, seem to have that high motor where they're going to be pressing a lot. So we're going to be pressing like it's 2022 again, along those lines here. Now, I don't know the formation and along those lines, but Jonathan mentioned, in the introductory press conference, that this team is going to go back to its bread and butter of pressing, along those lines here. And even in the comment from the gentleman on X, you mentioned that he's that little pest, that gnat that goes around for that here, which can be very, very beneficial at times. Royce, your thoughts?
That's exactly what I was going to go with. Last season, that was the big thing that was missing, was any semblance of a press. And a big reason was because of the setup, right? We try to do the, front foot forward, offensive, possession style. If you're going to be in possession, it's really tough to also be a pressing team. And one of the big things we missed last season was a good, dependable presser that was just going to be on it from the kickoff. So that could really change, by example, the outlook of the team, the play of the team. So if we start occupying the space instead of giving space, I think that's already a good start, because last season we were spread out too much, and we didn't take up enough room. We didn't take up enough space. We did not have pressers, and that was a big thing last season that really hurt us. So Give the kid a chance. I'm going to absolutely support him 100%. And man, hopefully he's that big difference maker we really need. So really looking forward to it. And it's, we'll see what happens.
Multi-year deal. Do you think that means that should be penciled in as a starter? And I know everybody's got to earn their way. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, I'll take that and I'll answer it with a real quick one. How many games did Jake LaCava start last season?
Well, how many was he healthy for?
It was not many.
It was less than a handful, and he's also on a multi-year deal. So it does not mean it. It means stability. It means that he gets to come to the park, and he's more accepting of the role, and he's probably going to work a lot harder for the team because he's on a multi-year deal. He knows he's here for a while, which is great for him, and for the club, it's a bit of stability, and hopefully he sets that really good example. So it's him taking a risk by coming over here, and SanAntonio FC taking a risk on him. So hopefully he shows out and he improves, and that's all we can ask for.
So the other one that SanAntonio FC brought in
let me just point one more thing out. I don't think we necessarily mentioned it. We talked about him being a New Zealander. He's a New Zealand international. So yay, a little extra experience there. At the same time, I think we saw at moments last season having too many internationals or even just with a thinner squad, having a few internationals out can sometimes be a little problematic. And it's worth noting, this isn't even just, Shannon Gomez or Nelson Flores Blanco traveling to Central America, the Caribbean, or anything. If he's traveling for internationals, that's going to be halfway around the world, basically. Those are not easy trips to make. So I just want to point out that's another international. You get that experience, but you also get some of the drawbacks during international breaks, because I don't think any of us had mentioned that.
At the same rate, though, Jonathan, what I will add to that is that it's New Zealand. It's not. I know. How do I put this lightly? He's not going to have a tough time through customs getting back to the States, is what I want to say. And take that for what you will, okay. But we had some players last season that had a tough time getting back to the States. So there is that.
Okay, so he'll find it easier to get back into the States, but also he'll be traveling for like literally a day each way to get out there. So yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. So
he'll leave on a Monday and arrive on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Has he been recently called up? I mean,
they said he's called up for. I actually had it here. Let me see.
Just to see if he's been in favor or not favor.
The 2024. He was called up
most recently. Called up in June 2024 for the OFC Nations Cup. Scored a brace in his first international in a World Cup qualifying match against New Caledonia. So it's not like he's just coming on as a sub in friendlies or anything. Like, he's getting competitive matches with them.
Are we ready to go to the other new edition?
Yes. Sorry for kind of.
Oh, no, you're fine.
There, but yeah.
So speaking of possible rough bringing in, SanAntonio adds a midfielder Dmitiri
Erofeev.
Erofeev,
I would think.
Also on a multi-year deal ahead of the 2025. He's 18. He's a native of Russia.
Sorry. It's Erofeev. Dmitiri Erofeev.
So I'm going to go with Dmitiri.
I have watched enough hockey in my life to know Dmitiri Erofeev. I know how to pronounce these last names. Tough that he's from Russia, but hey, let's welcome the kid.
So of course it's still pending league through here, but he's a native of Russia. He came through the FC Dynamo Moscow Academy. Most recently competing for the club reserves, Dynamo 2 Moscow, not Houston, Matt, like you originally thought. The past year, the 18-year-old playmaker helped secure the 2024 Russian Second League Championship with 3 goals, 5 assists and 16 appearances. Sporting director Marco Ferruzzi mentioned, "We are thrilled to welcome Dmitiri to San Antonio and our family. Dmitiri is a technically creative midfielder with a lot of potential and opportunity for growth. He developed a highly reputable he developed in a highly reputable academy at Dynamo Moscow and look forward to continuing his professional pathway. He has appearances with Russia in the U16 team and the U19 team, where he scored 10 goals in 31 matches. And, he does play, for the Russian teams on the youth levels. I'm excited. If you go through and YouTube his videos, he seems very, very, very exciting. Before that, here he's 18. I know a lot of people are like, hey, San Antonio's doing transactions with Russia. Not necessarily, because it wasn't a transfer from all indications, from stuff that was reported on X. He waited till out of his contract, even though the Dynamo Moscow team wanted to sign him. To me, I'm excited. And in his intro, you saw he was in snow. So, Dmitiri, when you get here, you won't have to worry about snow.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Have y'all seen the forecast?
Okay, so here's the caveat. If he does have to worry about snow, he gets to sit back and laugh and say, "You guys are losing your minds. This is a Tuesday for us. Like, come on, really?" He can laugh at us and how we handle it.
No, so starting January 20th, we're going to get another polar vortex, and it's supposed to be the coldest it's been in 300 years in North America. So prepare yourselves for that. That's going to be nasty. That's going to be really nasty. But anyway, about Dmitiri, let me just go over this real quick. This is the exciting signing. This is where Ferruzzi's really stretching his muscles. A lot of other international teams were looking to sign him, and this kid really does seem special. So this is the one to be excited about. Absolutely. Welcome to Dmitiri. Can't wait to see this kid on the field.
Matt, your thoughts of him?
Oh, that kid's amazing. I can't wait for him to hit the field. That one's good. That one's gonna be probably more of your, I guess, not trying to play him like as what I'm gonna say. He's that cockroach you want to try to get rid of, but he's just gonna keep weaving and going through everybody. So, hey, I can't wait to see that guy play. That one's gonna be the exciting one.
Jonathan?
Yeah, so one of the things that was mentioned, he kind of worked his way up through a couple of different youth teams at Dynamo Moscow and eventually was playing for their reserve team when he was, it says in 2023, so when he was maybe 16, 17, and put up some respectable numbers there. Now, granted, they do say he helped the team earn promotion into the second division, so he was playing in the third tier in Russia at the time, so maybe take it with a bit of a grain of salt, but it sounds like he was able to at least hold his own. He didn't look like a 16 or 17-year-old necessarily, so that's a positive sign. The fact that he's still only 18 and still has so much of his career, so much potential is really exciting. I'm interested to see how he fits into the team because for what it's worth, we're hyping up these new signings. If there was one area where SAFC had at least one very capable player already, it was attacking midfield. Jorge Hernandez has signed to a no deal, so it'll be interesting seeing how you fit those two into the same lineup, or how they maybe share duties.
But we didn't have a replacement for him last year. That was the issue. There was nobody on the roster that could step in for Jorge when if he was out for an injury, red card.
Which was rare, though. That's the thing. I mean, SAFC has been lucky that Hernandez hasn't really had to miss many matches, if at all, in his year and a half, almost 2 years. So it's good to have cover there. But I mean, at the same time, if you've got both of them fit, you kind of want to see if you can get both of them on the field, because defenders and opponents have enough problems dealing with Jorge. If they now also have to deal with Erofeev, that's exponentially more difficult. something Matt was talking about is if he's going to be kind of weaving in and out of guys, maybe he's then going to be playing a little more wide. Maybe I know we don't necessarily know what the formation is going to be, but based on what Harry was kind of thinking of before the show, I noticed that formation has positions for some wide attacking players. So maybe he's going to be out there playing one of those. But if we get to see both of them on the field, it's going to be interesting and probably exciting.
And before we get to you, Rafa, here, Ewan Matsuis, this kid is special, but I'm skeptical of SAFC's ability to develop talent. They've developed talent in the past under Marcina. That really wasn't their
forte.
goal. But SAFC does have, Pirano they helped promote, Gallegos, Maxi Rodriguez came through here. So there's been a few. It's been a while. And then he's going to get pummeled physically, but excited to see him develop. I actually disagree with this comment here. And I know, Rafa, you and I kind of talked about this, I think, Matt, one night when watching the football games. He may be kind of small, but he doesn't seem frail, if that makes sense. He's got some thickness to him, if that's the proper way to say that.
He's not scared.
Yeah, he's not scared. He has a low center of gravity. I think that's what you're going with.
Yeah,
and also the Russian leagues are not known as the most gentle leagues out there for forwards. So I think the kid will be all right.
Go ahead, Rafa.
He's if you watch his videos, like I said, he's very hard to knock off the ball. And like I said, he took hits, and one thing with the Russian league, like I said, they're very physical there. I think the position he plays, if you watch him, he did play a lot of the outside, especially with that. He's got a wicked left foot. I mean, that kid can. If we're gonna have to score some goals from the outside the box, it's probably gonna be from him because he can really drive that ball from distance. But there also, if you see on the videos, he does play in the middle too. And I know Matt was very impressed on that little cheeky dump pass he did from the back, the back heel pass. I mean, you kind of pick your poison here because I think Yamosa can do. If he plays a 4-3-3, you can have two attacking mids with him and Hernandez. That may free up Hernandez a little bit more because if you kind of want to key on him, Dmitri's going to end up hurting you if you don't pay attention to him. And like I said, and those guys do like to shoot from distance. So both of them are left-footed. So they, like I said, it's a deadly combination if they do go to 4-3. Now, if they go to a 4-2-3-1, more than likely he's going to play from the right side. That way, when he does his dribble back into the 18, he's got the angle to shoot. But one thing he also do. He's very good at set pieces, and he was really placing those balls in not only in the 6 but also in the goals. So I think they find themselves a diamond in the rough because there are some other teams that are looking at him. I know some Zamora from I know that's third division Spanish league, but still a competitive league. They were looking at him, and there was a couple. I think other Russian teams were looking at him. So
the club didn't want to give him up either.
Yeah, so that says something there. SAFC, if they're able to develop him, this could be a big payoff as far as who they end up selling him to. And he may end up. Think of it this way: he could be, kind of Jose Gallegos 2.0. If you kind of look at it, they have similar styles, sort of with the dribbling and so forth. So he's going to bring a lot of excitement. I'm excited about him. I already have a tifo ready for him. Like I said, a little Ivan Drago inspired tifo for him, but he's going to be fun to watch. And I think I wouldn't be surprised he gets plugged in at some games, depending on who they match up with as a starter too, because I think he's going to be a difference maker here. Kind of what we try to do with Lorera, but like I said, the injuries with him didn't pan out. I think this kid's going to pan out dividends right away.
Any final thoughts on the youngster? To be honest with you, this one probably has been the most exciting player we've signed in a couple of years.
Yeah. I don't know.
But as far as potential,
Like young players, sure. Young players, sure. I was going to say we've had a couple signings that I've been absolutely chuffed about, but
Agudelo,
yeah,
Nobody cares about Agudelo.
your leading goal scorer last season,
I still don't care.
By
Kick
default.
rocks game as Agudelo's awesome. That's my guy.
Last season is history. Let's move on.
And here's a big thing. Agudelo's a poacher. At this point in his career, he's absolutely a poacher. You got Hernandez and you have Erofeev, who can put a ball in, a nice little cross in for Agudelo to finish. I'm looking forward to that because I think when we get to our bold predictions, whenever we get to that, Agudelo double-digit goals this season I think that's going to be pretty easy. Hit the over on that one. So, but anyway, continuing. Very excited about this signing. Should be great. Looking forward to it.
So the next one is a rumor, and keep it in mind.
Yeah, I know. Audience out there, boy, the rumor mill heated up very quickly over this week for a lot of signings. And one of them ended up in a very funny situation from what we understand. So, but go ahead, Harry. Go ahead with rumor. Here's the rumor mill. SAFC rumor mill. We do this every year. Go ahead, Harry.
So this isn't by us. This is by Julian Cabrera B.
We'll just leave it as rumors on X. That's all we'll leave it at. We're not going to contribute it to anybody. There's no reason. Rumors
I'm
on
gonna
X.
post it on here.
You should attribute it.
Yeah, I'm going to attribute it.
Okay.
This is where I'm getting it from.
All right. Fair enough.
Basically, he's got ties to ESPN. So he seems, as far as for X, seems like he's got some credence. But he tweeted that Colombian midfielder Almir Soto has an agreement to become a new SanAntonio FC player. Looking at his transfer market through here, shows he mainly plays central midfield, defensive midfield, right back. We watched, before the show, we watched a video of it here. Keep in mind, we do not know if this is true or not, but the two rumors that Royce was able to find out 2 out of 3, I guess, because one, but the third one was kind of a little bit more. Hey, I don't really like it, but now I do. But to me, this one seems pretty, as far as in lines with the other rumors that we saw on X for that here. So it may be something coming in the next week or so. Obviously, these have to go through league and federation approval. But for a professional, assuming a professional, based on the Twitter and looking at his tweets, it seems like somebody that may be coming for the midfield for that here. Rafa, I don't know if Royce saw any videos or anything on it, but the Rafa, any thoughts that you saw on him just as kind of a rumor mill before we get too far?
Just watching him play, like I said, we watched his video. He kind of fits what we're lacking, is more of a presence in the middle as far as the defensive side. And what he brings in, like I said, if you saw on that graphic, he can play this. He can be a backup for Chainer, or for Alex, and then we also have, but he also can be a backup for Omar, because he can be a holding mid. But then also we saw video of him playing on the outside defense, and he was pressing a lot.
I don't think Tainer. I think more the midfield, and then he said he could play right back, but not necessarily center back.
Yeah, but I think, if you saw that, he did play some center back, if just in case injuries, because I said our 2 center backs are over 30 years old, so he can be popped into there, just in case someone gets hurt. But also, he does bring in the experience playing the outside, but also the holding mid. So he's making kind of like a little switchblade tonight defensive wise. But I think if we do sign him, he's going to be a great addition. And then this is the key we didn't have last year was depth in the midfield. And that's the thing. We didn't have a lot of depth on our team. And I think maybe Ferruzzi's trying to kind of realize, you know what, the formula that worked in 2022 was we had a lot of depth on that team. I think we got to build a bench. That way, if someone gets hurt or someone's on international duties, that level of play doesn't go down, or we don't put up someone in a position that they shouldn't even be playing in that position. Just kind of like a little Band-Aid. So I think if he does sign with us, it's going to be a great signing. Just like I said, for depth purposes. But the thing is, he can play. He's played with some competitive leagues, and hopefully we'll hear more about it. Hopefully this coming week.
So, as far as kind of looking at needs here, we still don't have a goalkeeper. The only forward we got is Lakava, or pardon me, only 9 that I would say. I think Royce might move Agudelo in as the 9 this year. Because you mentioned poaching.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Agudelo's going to be number 9 this year. Yep.
Unless they sign one.
That's a fair shot. That's for now. For now.
Yeah.
So, like I said here, so we're still thin up top with the attackers. I know we brought in kind of two with Grieve and Dmitiri for that here. Still no goalkeepers. Still need some more center backs. But we'll go with you, Royce. Outside of forward and goalies, what's kind of the biggest needs, or what would you like to see SAFC gather next?
I mean, center back depth, right? We have and maybe some wingers if we are going to do a 4-2-3-1. Maybe a couple more wingers just to solidify that. Sounds like we have our 10s. We have at least 1 8, if not 2 8s, and Hackinson, and possibly Grieve. So, the backup 6 kind of, it sounds like grain of salt if the Soto signing does happen. Sounds like Soto and Mohamed Omar are going to be vying for that number 6 spot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, the big thing is goalkeeper and some more center backs, whether we can find, obviously, Cronali is a dead on USL starter. He's been good for a while in this league. Along with Mitch, if you can find a better center back out there, which is possible, that'd be great. But you got your starting 2, at least give them some competition to keep their game up. But obviously the big need is the goaltender. We're not talking hockey, Erofeev. But the big thing obviously is goalkeeper, with McIntosh going to Oakland and Cisniega going to San Diego, which apparently he's the 4th keeper over there, which is pretty wild, but we'll see how that turns out.
Fars, I think 3 or 4 now too, over with DC United. So
it'll be something. We got both of them on loan.
And Ewan says that Grieve is a striker for that here, so he may play more.
Fair enough.
So I still think he plays out on the wing, though. Based on how they say it, but we'll have to see. That's what preseason's for. Matt, anything that you would like to see? And don't say anything about Agudelo or past that. We've already moved on. You've got your one cheap shot in. Move on.
I guess the mid, more midfielders, possibly maybe a couple more center backs. I know for sure we really need that number 9 and the goalkeepers though. There's nothing really else you're asking for more than those 2, but maybe some more, definitely some more mids.
Jonathan, your thoughts on what SAFC is needing?
Well, since the suggestion of getting goalkeepers on loan has been brought up, disapprove, bad idea. Do not, a position as integral as goalkeeper, get someone under contract with yourself, no loan agreements. That's asking for trouble, I feel like. I mean, it's weird because there's not like you can find someone for every
To
position.
be
and
fair,
if you-
JC, to be fair, the best goalkeeper that SAFC has had in its history was on loan. So there's that.
Who?
It's plays for Minnesota United.
Dane St. Clair,
Oh,
that's
Dane
correct.
St. Clair. Okay, but he was only here for 5 games, though.
Yeah, he was here for 5 games. I mean,
And those were 5
He was
unbelievable
fine.
games. What are we talking about?
But he remember he left because Minnesota United had a lot of injuries in that position. If they didn't have those injuries, he probably would have ended up staying longer.
I don't disagree. That's 100%
all I'll
true.
say, and I know we would hate the team that he comes from, but if Austin FC doesn't have room for Damian Loss, who was loaned to Lou City and he started for them all of last year, I would not object to Damian Loss coming down 35 for that here. I know he plays for the team we don't talk about, but the right situation. And the problem with Dane St. Clair is Minnesota just got killed with injuries. And that's why he went back up and he ended up playing in the playoffs and pretty much has held that spot since then. So it worked out for him, not so much for SAFC. But that was the year we had 4 goalkeepers, and we're like, why do we have so many goalkeepers?
And no, that
was 3.
I think 2 years later, because St. Clair was 2020.
Okay.
The year of Bonilla,
Right.
Farr, Cardoni, and whichever was it. I don't remember exactly which academy
But yeah,
goalkeeper it
there's
was at
4
that
of
time,
them.
but yeah, that was 2022. So
I think it was Lee Johnston back then, wasn't it?
no,
it Jude?
Johnston had gone by then. I don't know if Johnston was here under Marcina at all.
Was it
I don't think
Jude?
he was. It might have been Jude.
Maybe Jude.
What
yeah.
year? 22?
Definitely not
22. I mean,
Gongora.
It,
Definitely
it
not
was probably-
Gongora.
it was
think it
probably
was
Johnston
Bonilla,
at the time.
Cardoni, Farr, and Grant.
Was
McCullough.
it?
Was Michaela?
Michaela and
Oh,
Jude
was it?
Bossart. There was 5
Yeah.
of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Jude. Okay.
That's right. Michaela
yeah.
did sign, and then
Grant,
never.
That's right.
Jude was on
And-
the academy.
And
Grant
that's the year
McCullough
that
was signed. Yeah.
that's the year that Carlos Mercado wasn't on the squad. So yeah.
No.
No.
But when Bonilla came and then he started I think he started 1 game and then he retired.
Couple-
Then he's like, boys, I'm moving to Miami. See you later.
And then I
Well,
think that
speaking
was
of-
the year Cardoni retired as well to go to law school.
Mhm.
Speaking of Mercado, he's a free agent.
No.
But
know you like him,
I'm
but no.
not saying I'm not saying that we're gonna sign him, but like I said, just to be aware, he is a free agent. I don't know if Ferruzzi would revisit that.
No.
No clue. But remember, he worked really close with Juan Lamadrid.
No.
I think
But that's
Rafa's
like-
just being part agent here, trying to drum up some business for Mercado.
No.
But like I said, I'm just saying, he is out there. But I'm not saying we're gonna sign
And I'm
him.
just saying no.
Anyway, getting back to it, yes, obviously you need at least 2 goalkeepers. Weird as it is, maybe get not necessarily a blockbuster signing, but another reliable sort of wingback, fullback, because yes, you already have Nelson Flores Blanco, Shannon Gomez, Reese Fuckmaster. 2 of them are going to be gone on international duty sometimes, and inevitably at least one will probably get injured at some point.
One of them has
So-
had a series of injuries already with the squad. So yeah, that's a fair shout.
Yeah, so at least one more reinforcement there. Maybe another sort of number 8, sort of central midfielder, box-to-box guy. As far as I can think of right now, we've got Hernandez, and that's pretty much it. You could maybe say Hawkinson because that's how he got used last
Hackinson.
year.
Hackinson was
he's
used as
not.
an 8 a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was used as whatever role Marcina needed him to be last year. He was the Swiss Army knife.
That's
What-
fair.
and
That's
what
fair.
is his
never
position?
really fit. Exactly.
Wh-
Exactly. Like I think. he
What
was
is
supposed to
his
be more-
position?
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be more of an attacker. When we asked him
A
at the start
7,
of
right?
last season, well, yeah, when we asked him at the start of last season, he said as a wing back, which kind of made sense in that Marcina system. But I feel like he would be better suited to maybe more of a winger role, maybe not so much for speed purposes, but if he's able to kind of dribble and torment wide players, serve some crosses in, or cut inside, I feel like that would probably be the best position for him. That's probably what he's supposed to be. But again, last year with smaller squad, with all the injuries, he was whatever Marcina needed him to be: central midfielder, wing back. I'm surprised he never got into goal. Yeah, he just never had a settled position last year. And I even asked him about it one time, and he was like, yeah, it's great to be useful in whatever role I can be, but at the same time, the downside of that is I can't really settle into any one role. So hopefully he gets more consistency this year.
And Rafa, I'm going to ask you the same question, but you cannot say a number 9 because you've been saying a number 9 for a year and a half. So besides a number 9, what do you think San Antonio FC needs?
I think we need another holding mid. I think we needed some depth in the. We got burned a lot in the midfield. I think that's where you really want to start building more there in the central area. So getting another holding mid, like I said, maybe another attacking mid to complement, the backup Jorge, or just to have different combinations depending on who you match up with. I do agree with Royce. We do need another outside defender. We need some added depth there, either left that can play either the left or the right side. Because I do believe we're going to end up playing a 4-back. It was going to be a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. We'll find out, but it's going to be a flat back 4, coming into this season. And then, if we are going to be pressing, this year, we do need some speedy wingers that are physical. They can also steal the ball and be creative and put the ball in the net, or be able to feed, like I said, whether it's Agudelo or whoever else we get number 9, they can at least distribute to them to get those balls into, in the net and in close range. I think that's something that we did well in 2022, and I think we lost a lot of that. We didn't see that, I think, the last 2 years. And I think they realized, we need to press teams, keep them from getting to our area. Let's keep them pinned down, because once we gave up a lot of space, we just could, we got basically destroyed. So, and I think we also need having those speedy wingers. We can wear out their defense and so forth. The thing is, causing turnovers is a key to getting those goals for our number 9s or for Jorge and so forth. So that's what I want to see, just to kind of build a bench that we're not gonna lose a beat. That we're just all right. You can plug anybody in. We'll be ready to go. We can, not what happened last year.
I'm going to ask this question here, and Matt and Rafa may not like it, but I think Royce brought up a really good point. If Agudelo's a poacher and not happen to do all the work that he did last year, do you think that changes things on bringing in a 9?
Well, you're going to need a 9 that's going to go up and go after people. I'm not saying that Agudelo doesn't have the stamina, but he is on the wrong side of 30.
I was going to say that Agudelo.
I'm just saying as a forward. But the thing is, there were times that when he did play the full 90, he just ran out of gas. And the thing is,
I get it, but he was one of the hardest working players on the field, night in, night out.
And that's what you want to save, maybe for him to come off the bench. If the games are tied or something, and if you can bring him in fresh, like around the 60th minute, that's where I think he can do a lot more damage. He may start, and then if you play, maybe he'll start a couple of games, maybe because of injury and all that, or because of cup game. That's fine. He'll get some of his starts, but I think the best compliment for him right now at this stage of his career is him coming off the bench, because that way he can also see what's going on. And with his experience and his savviness, he can be that difference maker to go in there. And it's kind of like what Nacho kind of did that a little bit that season when we won. When he came off the bench, he got critical goals when we needed him at certain points of the game. And I think that's what I think at this stage for him. I think that works for him. If he's going to be a poacher, that's what we want. And I think that will work for him. Let someone else do the dirty work for him up front, wear him out. So when he comes in, he'll be on it. And like I said, he can take a full advantage of it. And I think that's the role he needs to take coming into this season.
And I didn't mean to start anything by it. It's just, to me, that's a good point by Royce on the possible impact for for Agudelo. Jonathan, go ahead.
I agree with that. With what Rafa said. I could see him coming off the bench more than starting. I would appreciate it a little bit more if he did that, because he is a game changer off the bench. That's just me. And I know I have my 2 cents, but
here's one thing also you forget about this. One thing you forgot about this: had Pacino not left SAFC, that would have been the role for Agudelo to come off the bench, because Pacino would have done all the dirty work to kind of soften off the defense, and Agudelo would have plugged in to do kind of the finish teams off. And I think that's where he'll excel. But like I said, granted, he was a workhorse, but the thing is, he just did not have the help up front to really kind of press, and he did get tired at some games. And at this stage, he's better off coming off a bench. Let someone else do the damage, and then you go in there and do what you do best: poach and score the goals. And I can guarantee you, if he has that role, I wouldn't be surprised he ends up getting double-digit goals. Because he can get up at least 10 to 12 goals.
See, the only
at that role.
The only issue that I have with that, and it's not about Agudelo not starting. The issue that I have with that is that typically your late game striker is the one who has a speed, and you're going to kind of pack it in just a little bit. And you normally want to counter, you want to go on the counter and score on the counter. Whenever the other team has to bring their defensive line high, you normally want that forward that's going to outspeed them. That's kind of when, honestly, like a Jake LaCava would be very useful. A guy with just gobs of speed to worry their back line and to kind of get them to make mistakes. I don't know if Agudelo is that late game guy just for that. He doesn't have the speed he once had, but he has the knowledge. He has the physicality. He could even continue being a hold-up 9, kind of a false 9 to hold the ball up.
That's the role right there.
And then just to pass it off to Jorge or pass it off to Erofeev. So I think that's why he needs to remain as a starter, because his skill set at this point in his career is more suited for a starter rather than that late game guy to come in and put games away.
And we'll just say this: we're making assumptions of what the
absolutely
be.
All of
we
this,
have no clue.
All of this coming straight from our butt. Yeah, absolutely. We have no idea what's going on.
Yamosa's gonna. I think he's got a game plan, so we don't know what roles everyone's going to be part of.
Jonathan, any thoughts that you have before we go to final thoughts?
I mean, it's hard to say anything definitive because, as the disclaimer we just had said,
don't we have one more big piece of news to go over? Did y'all go over it last show? Since I wasn't here last show.
What news was
that? Renovations on Toyota Field.
Last show. Well, but you were not here.
You weren't here.
So no, you would like to say something?
Yeah, go ahead. Floor is yours.
I'm excited. That's all I got. Continue on.
No, dude, you got more than that. Come on.
Wow, we put you as the only person on the screen.
Only person.
And you say, I'm excited. You're usually way more articulate than that, Royce. Come on. Tell us how you really feel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. No, it's exciting. Obviously, the new screen is great. What'd be cool is if they put a roof over the new screen. That'd be even better. But the new pitch should be nice. And if you noticed, Mitch Tainer's social media post right after the announcement, even the practice field's got a brand new pitch. So Looks like they really put some money into that. Obviously, they really wanted to look nice for next year, which is going to be very important for San Antonio and the soccer scene here. So it's exciting, and the new scoreboard is going to be great. Apparently, some other updates to Toyota Field happened, so it is the 10th anniversary, and like y'all mentioned last time, Toyota Field was showing a little bit of its age, and hopefully this nice fresh coat of paint and new features really brings it home that it's still one of the best stadiums in this league, if not the country.
So my final thought, well, I'm going to do two final thoughts here. One, hold on here. Moments by Raz, who we work with, who is gracious with us to share pictures. She put out a post here. She's been given a wonderful opportunity to represent her university at a collegiate art show next month. And it's requested that I use one of my San Antonio FC photos. The opportunity comes at a cost of enlarging and framing a photo, which can be around $100 minimum. I don't make any money off of it because she does it for there, and someday she'd like to make it a career for that here. She's asking if we can, if fans, if you're able to make a donation to help afford the opportunity to show her work. And I'll keep everyone informed of the photos being selected and, of course, the dates of the exhibition. If you go to Moments by Raz, you can get her Cash App, or I'm sure if you DM'd her, she can help out. But I know she's a friend of the show. I know most of us kind of helped supported her, and we'll continue to support her in her missions for that here. So if you're able to, please do. If you're not able to, still please share her work. If you see her out on the field or the tailgate, depending on what that scene looks like this year, please go by and say hello and tell her thank you for the work that she does. And really, any of the media people, if you know who they are, please go out and do that. And Matt, did you gave a kind of a funny eye when I said tailgate? Did I itch something there that we're not supposed to as of yet? No, not yet.
Hit a sore spot.
Moving on.
Matthew, I know Matthew showing some maturity. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. And full disclosure, we have reached out to Raz and her mom, and we have, as a show, covered some of the costs for that. But if you can help cover the rest, cover whatever you can, that'd be great. Help someone in the San Antonio FC community achieve her goal. Absolutely.
Final thoughts, Matt. We'll start with you since you zipped it up. I know you're itching to give something out, so let's put you right in there. Stoke that fire.
I mean, the only real final thought I have, because nothing really big is going on besides the signings. I mean, for us, because we're still at a standstill waiting for meetings and stuff. But the only thing I have is, if you're part of the Spurs community, we did do somebody special,
yes.
the Spurs lady. So please give the thoughts and prayers out to her family. I met her once. She is a cool cat. She was very amazing, very friendly. But yeah, just send out your prayers out to that family. That was an unexpected loss.
Hit a lot of people hard.
Yeah, it hit a lot of people hard. And other than that, just, I guess, be kind, and you never know when it is the last light flicker for your friends. So just take care of everybody.
Jonathan Chick, anything new for you, media-wise or otherwise, friend-wise, Man City-wise? I know they seems like they've turned the corner a little bit.
Yeah, regarding City, you would hope so. I mean, they played a League Two side in the FA Cup yesterday, beat a 8-0. So, I mean, that's what you're expected to do. And the team was a mix of first teamers and, reserves and even one or two academy players. But you'd like to think that at the very least it builds some confidence for them, and that at the very least they won't just go on crazy losing streaks again. But even some of the recent wins haven't been the most convincing, so we'll see. I don't know what plans they have for January. I don't know if they're planning to get a bunch of reinforcements in the middle of the season. That would be maybe a little risky to me, but at the same time, you got to do something. And shifting back to SAFC, I'll just say it's been kind of crazy over the last couple of weeks. I know, okay, it's January, transfer window opens in Europe and all that. But even then, it's been crazy seeing all these reports of players joining SAFC, because I don't remember us ever really having this in the past. I don't know what we can attribute it to, but this year there's been a lot of this news breaking, it seems, from just random people out on the internet, and so far 2 of them have been right. So curious to see what else we have. I mean, it's probably only going to heat up from here, because we would be a week or 2 from the start of preseason, I would think. So it's not going to cool down.
Yeah, I mean, not to steal your thunder, Jonathan, but this is typically when I get into the routine of checking certain keywords and stuff around social media. I'm not going to say this is the first time this has happened. I think this is the first time this has happened in international markets.
Mm-hmm.
I normally see the rumors for, the signings, but this is the first time where I got to translate a lot to figure out what's going on. So, yeah, absolutely.
And the roster is setting at 13 right now for that here. So if camp breaks 2 weeks, you figure they want to probably get another 3 or 4 players in at minimum. Historically, SanAntonio FC under Marcina, maxed out the five MLS loans. It'll be interesting if they still go with that style or what they do along those lines. Rafa, your final thought?
Before I give a final thought, I do have some insider news to share from a source saying that the Charly brand apparel will be at the soccer store. Shirts, hoodies, and polos headwear will be available at the end of the month, and possible jerseys in mid to late February. So be on the lookout for that. And then my final thought, like I said, looking forward to hopefully more signings this week. Should be interesting who they get. Like I said, there are some still needs for this team. Like I said, not only the number 9, but also the goalkeeping area, also in the midfield. And also, like I mentioned, we do have the other show on Thursday coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So to talk about the last couple of weeks of these showcases and tournaments, and finally the debut of the often imitated, never duplicated RPIs. So they're going to make their debut. So I'll have those out. We'll see who's number 1 for the boys and the girls, and then we'll talk about more about there's some key games too. They're also this week too. So I know me and Steve Sanchez will be at a couple of them. So keep an eye out for where we're going to be at. So some doozies, so some playoff caliber games. So we're gonna be able to see that hopefully on Tuesday and Friday night.
Royce, did I get your final thought?
Man, I mean, considering what's going on in LA, and the impending really cold weather we're about to get, just take care of each other, man. That's it. It's the winter. It's kind of nasty weather season right now. So just take it easy, make your precautions. Please don't just go and buy all the toilet paper and the paper towels and the water at the stores. Don't panic buy, but just make sure you're prepared.
So stock up now is what you're saying.
Stock up now, exactly. Don't overburden. Stock up now, but at the same rate, just take care of yourselves,
Jonathan?
take care of each other.
The problem is, Royce, you mentioned it earlier in the show, and in the intervening hour or so, there's probably been a run at every local grocery store. Nice
That's
job.
fine. I mean, we
Too
hit
late.
up Costco this weekend. We're set for about a month. So good luck to you four, though.
So my final thought here, one, I'm going to do an SAFC one here. If you're a season ticket member, check your email. There's a 2025 Paint the Tunnel, Friday, February 7th, 5 to 7. Player appearances, food truck. You can get a picture of the 2022 trophy. Soccer Factory season ticket member garage sale, live music for that here. Please reserve. If you're not a season ticket member, please reach out to a season ticket member representative or sales team, or go on to SAFC.com or SanAntonioFC.com and inquire about tickets through there. Even with last year, the product on the field, even though we didn't have the most success, it's still one of the best things to do in San Antonio for that here. Even with all of our grumbles last year, like I said here, it's a great family thing there. And I would say 9.5 out of 10 years, it's been great. But, unfortunately last year was a little bit off kilter from what's normal. But we're moving on to greener pastures for that here. And then, of course, Royce mentioned about the weather, the storms. Just be nice to each other. You don't always have to engage on social media, especially politically, along those lines. Save yourself typing out stuff that people won't listen to anyway. So it's helped me out, although I got shadow banned by Twitter for unusual activity, I was told. I'm not sure what that was, but I'm back on X.
Harry, that's because you stopped posting politically, and they were like, "Well, what's wrong? This isn't this guy. Somebody hacked his account." Joking.
It is what it is. But if you can, go out, support the high schoolers. There's a lot of great action. Basketball. I know we talk about soccer, but there's a lot of basketball going on right now, both for boys and girls soccer. Baseball is going to be starting probably in about a month. Baseball and softball and track. So if you can try to support local activities, and just be involved in the community. As mentioned, Matt mentioned, was it the Spurs lady? I think is what she was called. Great involvement within the community along those lines, and it'd be pretty cool to be remembered for how you impacted the community beyond just what you've done with your family. So be nice, be kind. I think since I entered the wrong thing, it won't let me in the stream normal here. So
man, we're firing all cylinders today. All cylinders.
Oh yeah, it's gonna do the same the outro video of the wrong one here, but we'll do it. What's life without goals?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
Take it. Rest in peace, Sovi Laureano, Spurs lady. What's life without goals? We'll see y'all next time.
You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't